Ogun State government has promised to prioritize the health sector with the aim of improving on the life of the people of the state, saying a healthy nation is a wealthy nation. Governor Abeokuta made this known while flagging off 1 week free surgical outreach for children organized by the state government in collaboration with Olabisi Onabanjo University Teaching Hospital and Research Children Hospital at Olabisi Onabanjo University Teaching Hospital, Shagamu. Governor's office correspondent Yusuf Ganiu has the details.
Ogun State Governor Prince Dakwa Abiodun arrived at Olabisi Onabanjo University Teaching Hospital in Shagamu to flag off the 1 week free surgical outreach for children, an health intervention organized by the Ogun State Government in collaboration with the University Teaching Hospital and Lister Children's Hospital, among other partners, to further ensure a healthier environment. While commending the management of Olabisi Onabanjo University Teaching Hospital for organizing the medical outreach to cater for the less privileged children, the governor informed that a minimum of 400 children with various health challenges would benefit from the medical expedition.
There are many more children that would actually need this procedure, but we're thankful that the first of its kind expedition is holding right here in our own Olabisi Onabanjo University Teaching Hospital, and we will do everything as an administration to ensure the sustenance of this kind of initiative.
The governor would thank the medical doctor from Lister Children's Hospital and Florida Hospital for providing the free medical services, assured that government would ensure the sustenance of the collaboration for the benefit of a large number of children in the states.
Again, we remain committed to ensuring that we improve the quality of life of our people. Being the gateway state, we continue to do everything to improve the quality and service delivery of our medical personnel. And I believe that by the time they've spent 5 years here, like was rightly observed, not only would our children have benefited from this program, but even our doctors here will also have benefited from that collaboration.
The Commissioner for Health, Dr. Tomi Kuka, commended Governor Abiodun for the support to the health sector, especially the Olabisi Onabanjo University Teaching Hospital, through the provision of necessary equipment and improvement on welfare of the medical personnel, which, according to her, has helped the hospital to regain its lost glory.
This could only have been possible because of your leadership style, which has encouraged collaboration, inclusiveness, and innovation. From the outset of this administration, the health sector had been a priority for yourself.
The Chief Medical Director of the hospital, Dr. Mrs. Oluwabumi Fatungashi, and Akarigban Paramount of Remoland, Oba Babatunde Ajayi, also gave their remarks.
This will reduce medical tourism and give the less privileged the opportunity to be treated and operated upon by the expertise that we have here, and there will be a rub-off on our own expertise here.
There's still a lot to be done, like they have said, and I know that God will give you the courage and the determination to ensure that this hospital actually continues to remain a pride to all of us in Ogun State.
It was pointed out that 200 to 300 children from the 20 local governments were initially penciled down for the free surgical operation, but presently over 400 children had been screened, an indication that the medical outreach will become a yearly event that would help to reduce medical tourism and also improve on the expertise of the medical personnel at home. Yusuf Ganiyu, OGTV News.
Local patents and vendors are regarded as the first point of call at the community level for the supply of simple medicine, hence the need to educate them on the requirements as regards their field. This was made known at the opening program of the 8th mandatory orientation seminar for patent and proprietary medicine vendors in Ogun State. Tuwalade Faisal has the details.
The importance of this orientation cannot be overemphasized, as it will enhance the interaction between the regulatory authorities and patent medicine vendors in the state. In his opening address, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Health, Dr. Kayode Oladeyinde, was represented by the Director of Pharmaceutical Services, who also doubles as the Chairman, Patent and Proprietary Medicine Vendor License Committee, Ogun State. Pharmacist Kayode Shotunde stated that the state government is committed to the development of the health sector in the state. He enjoined the Patent Vendor Association of Nigeria to desist from any form of illegality that can endanger the lives of the citizenry.
His Excellency, Mr. Abeokuta, the Governor of Ogun State, has reiterated his commitment towards giving attention to the healthcare delivery services of Ogun State citizens. I wish to implore the members of the various Regional Medicine Vendors Association to continue to adhere strictly to the regulation of business.
Registrar, Pharmacists Council of Nigeria, Pharmacist Ibrahim Babashewa, represented by the Council Zonal Director, Dr. Yejide Oseni, noted that the PCN body recognizes patent and proprietary medicine vendors as important stakeholders in the healthcare delivery system level, stressing the need for more training to equip them with more understanding of operational needs.
Only in licensed premises, both by and patent medication, advised by pharmacies, that you can access your medicine.
Participants noted that they look forward to acquiring more knowledge at the seminar to broaden their service delivery skill.
The orientation is to make we patent medicine store owner able to know the rules and regulation which is guiding the pharmaceutical company, the pharmaceutical council. So that's why we are here for the test.
It's a great opportunity for me to have the license. That's what is going to prove me anywhere I go, that I'm a good member of PCN.
A test was later conducted for the vendors to show their level of competence. Tiwalade Faiso, OGTV News.
And to a national issue, the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors has shifted its decision on the ultimatum it issued to the federal government by 1 week. The association said it shifted its decision to give room for more dialogue between the parties involved, particularly with the Federal Ministry of Finance. The association has scheduled to hold an extraordinary National Executive Council meeting from Friday, August 19 to Sunday, August 21, 2022, at the University of Ilorin Teaching Hospital, Ilorin, Kwara State, to deliberate on the NAD's ultimatum. No fewer than 78 federal and state health facilities will be affected if the doctors embark on the industrial action. There are currently at least 11,000 resident doctors in the country. The resident doctors had on July 30, 2022, issued a 2-week ultimatum to the federal government to implement all the agreements it had with the association, or it would embark on an indefinite strike. NAD's demand include the payment of the newly reviewed medical residency training fund, the immediate implementation and payment of the new hazard allowance, and appears among several others. The ultimatum expires on Sunday, August 14, 2022. However, the NAD president, Dr. Dari Ishaya, said the association would make its final decision on Saturday and brief the media on Sunday, August 21, 2022. Determined to meet its current revenue target, the Ogun State government has called on the accountants in ministries and government establishments to be ingenious and come up with innovative ideas capable of boosting the revenue base of the state. The State Commissioner for Finance and Chief Economic Advisor, Dr. Okubadejo, made the call at a meeting with all directors and finance and accounts in various ministries, departments, and agencies in Abeokuta, while noting that the current global and national economic situation has made it expedient for the state to devise ways of shoring up its revenue. The Commissioner sought the cooperation of the accountants in ensuring that government generates enough funds to meet its obligations to the people.
Your main responsibility is not only just handling the finances of your MDA. The one thing that I think we have not been doing a very good job of is overseeing the revenue generation capacity of your respective MDAs. How do we block leakages? How do we ensure efficient service delivery? And make life easy for our people.
Away from that story and to education matters, contrary to multiple reports that JAMB has set cut-off marks for tertiary institution admission, the registrar, Professor Ishaq Oloide, had clarified that there is no benchmark as every institution has the liberty to set their preferred cut-off marks but cannot go below the scoreline JAMB has set. Professor Oloide made this clarification during an OGTV interview program, Hot Seats.
Every institution in Nigeria, whether university, polytechnic, or colleges or college of education, determines the pass mark that you will take for UTME. Determines where to draw the line, depending on those who applied that year. For medicine, for instance, you look at 500 who applied to you, and you have a vacancy of 50. You now say, I draw my line here. That line may be at 300 over 400. You cannot come and say, I will take somebody on 200 because it's the ranking, it's the performance. That same institution next year, they may conduct their examination and the best, the first 50 may be, the highest may be 250 and the lowest, the number 50 may be 200. When you say bank what? Are you telling me that the person who scored 180 this year and you want to rank him next year, will be no more people scoring more than 180? Will he ever be given any chance? Because the purpose of the examination is to put all of them who are available for that year together, examine them and rank them. So what will be the lowest of them depends on institution and depends on the cohort, or the institution, your classmates, if I can use the word, determine where it will stop. If you have people who are very brilliant, you are in trouble. If you fall, unfortunately, among the dollars, you are going to shine, even if you are not that good.
The interview comes up tomorrow, Tuesday, 16th August 2022 at 9:30 a.m. Still to come in the news, federal government set up steering committees to review IPPIS TSA payment system. Join us after this timeout for details of this report and more. Government, through the Minister of Communication and Digital Economy, Professor Issa Patami, has inaugurated a presidential steering committee to review integrated payroll and personal information system, the Treasury Single Accounts Government Integrated Financial Management System over irregularities. In his remark during the inauguration ceremony, Patami confirmed that the system have technical challenges which need to be corrected. He said the singular mandate of committee is to provide solutions to the possible leakages inherent in the system that are being exploited by evil persons to divert public funds. The committee is to serve as a presidential committee with a mandate of ensuring the review of the strengths of the system and the challenges or weakness, and advise Mr. President on how to improve, particularly if there are leakages that are being exploited by evil people. As part of efforts to tackle the security challenges facing the nation, the President's directive that security be beefed up at various public places that could be seen as soft targets for security breach has again underscored the precarious situation the nation is facing at the moment. The special report analyzes the situation and the implication on the battle against insecurity in the country. Matthew Shomi completes the reports.
As the nation's security continues to burst at the seams, the federal government keeps devising different measures to tackle the problems of terrorism, banditry, kidnapping for ransom, gunmen attacks, and violent crimes, which are now evenly distributed in every part of Nigeria. The directive for security to be beefed up at schools, hospitals, motor parks, and other critical infrastructure across the country has again laid credence to the precarious situation prevalent at this moment.
The insecurity issue in the nation now is as open as the broad daylight. is no secrecy behind it that there is insecurity in the nation. For the government now to have come out boldly to bring out such a strategy, well, I can call it a good proactive measures. You understand, to secure the school, to secure strategic places.
The people believe the measure has been long overdue, given how these places have become object of attacks in recent times.
Best part of valor is discretion. If you can put them in strategic places, the little we have, we can still make a better use of it so that it will allow the business of the day to go as it ought to be. If you look at even where we call, the other climes, where I'm talking of the US or other countries we look at, they have volunteers. There are people that can just call in in terms of security emergencies. So like in our country, we can't just leave it only for the government alone. We have to emphasize that. There's need for us to also know that it's also our responsibility to know who is our neighbor.
Retired Commissioner of Police David Akinyemi is the Ogun State Commandant of Southwest Security Outfit, codenamed Amotekun, who revealed that such measure has been part of strategies being deployed to tackle the challenge locally.
We have been doing our utmost best in ensuring that critical infrastructure in the state, our schools, our hospitals, our marketplaces, our worship centers are constantly, placed on surveillance. For as long as people are security conscious and they call on us from time to time to alert us of the likelihood of a crime being committed within the environment, and we'll go ahead to check on it.
The commandant also speak on how security is being managed in the states.
Or the killing of an undergraduate of Mapuli is an unfortunate incident, no doubt about that. It is an isolated case. The state governor had condemned the Dasali Act, and he had given marching orders to all of us.
Another challenge for the security apparatus in the country as the agencies look into the hint box to come up with another strategy to cope with the latest challenge. Matthew Shoumi, OGTV News.
Away from that story and to economic matters, application of sustainable solution usage of regulatory body and alternative production of liquefied petroleum gas by the government are possible solutions highlighted by Nigerians as regards the consistent hike in price of cooking gas that keeps trading at highest levels in recent months. These were suggestions of marketers, retailers and consumers while speaking to our reporter Kumisola Shokoya on the persistent increase in the price of cooking gas and its effects on the economy. Our report is presented in this package.
The price of liquefied petroleum gas, LPG, also known as cooking gas, has skyrocketed lately to a record high of 800 naira to 900 naira per kilogram, causing Nigerians to lament. This has made Nigerians to resort to other alternatives due to its negative effect amid high unemployment and poverty level in the country.
A kg now is 850, 900. And I'm going to use per day, I'll use close to 5 kg. So times it. If I'm using charcoal, a bag is 5,000 naira. And I use a bag for a week. Do you see the difference there?
It affects every home, not only one home. The price is too high.
According to some retailers, the instability of the economy is one of the major causes of the constant increment, which if properly managed by the government can pave way for a better livelihood for the people.
The government should come in and find a lasting solution to the problem, because now every home now use the LPG, because some people consider it better than kerosene. It's safer, easy to use, conveniency, fast.
If the federal government of Nigeria will say, okay, for the LNG, our local producer of energy, should now supply locally at a predetermined price that is not based on international markets, then that should guarantee some stability the prices.
The exponential increase in the price of cooking gas also follows a current pattern with other deregulated petroleum products such as kerosene and diesel, which have also experienced serious spikes this year. Omokumisola Shokoya, OGTV News.
And now to more national stories. No fewer than 23 ghost workers have been uncovered in the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing in Abuja. The Federal Civil Service Commission discovered the civil servants whose employment letters were discovered to be fake. It has therefore ordered that the affected persons be disengaged from service. The head of Civil Service of the Federation, Dr. Folashade Yemieso, has been lamenting the presence of fake civil servants in the nation's ministries, departments and agencies since the beginning of her tenure. The panel set up within the ministry on the matter had recommended sanctions for the whistleblower for breaching public service rules. The Senate Public Accounts Committee has put the current and past management of the Nigerian Social Insurance Trust Fund under scrutiny. The committee said it discovered that the fund's management failed to produce relevant documents to justify alleged spending of 17.158 billion naira in 2013. Some of the documents to back these expenses were said to have been eaten up by termites. The Office of the Auditor General of the Federation, in its 2018 audit report, now being considered by the Senate panel chairman by Senator Matthew Uhogide, Edo South, queries the agency over the disbursed sums without appropriate supporting documents. In his report, the Auditor General said the 17.158 billion naira represented the total sum of money transferred by the agency from its Sky and First Bank accounts into various untraceable accounts belonging to individuals and companies between January and December 2013. The Joint Action Committee of the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities and National Association of Academic Technologists are set to meet with the federal government negotiation team led by Professor Nimi Briggs on Friday. SANU and NASU, like the Academic Staff Union of Universities, are on strike following what the union described as the failure of the government to meet some of their demands. The strike by the union commenced with a 2-week warning strike which started on March 27, 2022, while the extension of another 2 weeks commenced on Sunday, April 10, 2022, and it is still ongoing. Some of the demands of SANU includes the inconsistent issue of the integrated payroll and personnel information system, unpaid earned allowances, delay in the renegotiation of FGN, NASU, SANU agreements, and non-payment of minimum wage arrears. Others include neglect and poor funding of state universities, non-payment of retirement benefits to outgoing members of the union, and the usurpation of hardship of non-teaching units in clear violation of condition of service and establishment procedures, among others. The union, like ASU, had also rejected the integrated payroll and personnel information system. Members of Ogun Conference of Seventh-day Adventist Church in Nigeria have been admonished on the need to understand God's purpose for their generation and work towards accomplishing the mission of God in unity and one accord. President of Western Nigerian Union Conference of Seventh-day Adventist Church, Nigeria, Pastor Oyeleke Owolabi, gave the admonition at the 10th year anniversary celebration and dedication of Secretariat Complex of Ogun Conference of Seventh-day Adventist Church, Nigeria, held at Babcock Academy in Ajebo Road, Abeokuta. Matthew Shomi has the details.
The 10th year anniversary celebration of Ogun Conference of Seventh-day Adventist Church, Nigeria, was not just a moment to thank God for the achievements recorded over the years, but another time to glorify God through hymns and special renditions. President of Western Union Conference of the Church, Pastor Oyeleke Owolabi, said Ogun Conference remains a good testimony of what God is capable of doing in the life of the people who trust in him and are committed to the mission.
When the journey began, they had nothing. But today, they came together to showcase the glory of the Lord. In the area of empowerment, they have done excellently well. In the area of community development, it is unprecedented. In the area of tithe and offering, to the glory of God, they are not doing badly. They have been able to help so many villages, and so many unentered areas have been entered.
President of Ogun Conference, Pastor Sunday Ogunsanya, in his welcome address, described the Seventh-day Adventists as a movement that must carry out the mission of God in every generation and encourage every member to work together to accomplish God's mission for the generation.
That is just the beginning. There are more for us to conquer, more of work for us to do. We have to be where the Lord is working and work with the Lord to achieve great things for the Lord. So that, and secondly, every member should touch the life of people around them. We are here to make peace in the whole world, peace to the people around us. And this is the mission that God has given unto us. This mission must be carried out to His glory.
Some past ministers of God were honored, pioneers of the church recognized, and awards presented to others for their efforts in the development of the church. The new secretariat of the conference was then dedicated and commissioned for God's work. Matthew Shoumi, OGTV News.
Now, a federal high court sitting in Abuja has sentenced the notorious Taraba-based kidnap kingpin AMISU BALA, popularly called Wadume, to 7 years imprisonment with fine. The presiding judge, Justice Binta Nyako, in her judgment said the court was satisfied that indeed Wadume was guilty of dealing in prohibited firearms and escaping from custody. Meanwhile, Police Inspector Aliyu Egi, another defendant in the matter, is to serve 3 years imprisonment for tampering with police records to conceal the crimes, while 3 other defendants are also to serve various sentences for their roles in the crime. Airstrikes from Nigerian Air Force aircraft have killed many terrorists holding meeting at Kurube in Shiroro local government area of Niger State. The meeting was said to have been convened by a Boko Haram terrorist commander identified as Aminu Dunuya and attracted many members of the sect. A source involved in the operation, who did not want his name in print because it was not directed to speak to journalists on the matter, revealed that the airstrike resulted in the death of many terrorists. It was, however, not clear if Dunuya was also killed in the operation. The source said over the weekend, NAF aircraft struck terrorists gathering at Kurube in Shiroro local government area of Niger State, after intelligence revealed that terrorists had assembled for an important meeting hosted by Aminu Dunuya, a Boko Haram terrorist commander. Aminu Dunuya was said to have invited the terrorists to his enclave at Kurube for the meeting, which obviously attracted numerous terrorists who came in large numbers on their motorbikes. The airstrike was successful and it resulted in the death of many terrorists, though it remains unclear if Aminu Dunuya was also neutralized in the strike. Up next is business news with Dominic Agbeha.
Welcome to the business segment of the news. Nigeria's inflation rate in the month of July 2022 rose to a 17-year high of 19.64%. This compares to 18.6% recorded in the previous month of June 2022. The latest inflation data is according to the recently released Consumer Price Index report for the month of July 2022 by the National Bureau of Statistics. Further breakdown of the report shows that the urban inflation rate rose by 2.08% to 20.09% in July 2022 from 18.01% recorded in July 2021, while the rural inflation rate hit 19.22% from 16.75% recorded. Nigeria's total debt owed to the World Bank Group has risen by $660 billion just in the first 6 months of 2022. The Debt Management Office and financial statements from the bank have shown. Data from the Debt Management Office, DMO, indicate that Nigeria's debt to the World Bank was $12.38 billion as of December 31, 2021. Meanwhile, the financial statements of the World Bank for the 2022 financial year show that Nigeria owes the lending institution $13.04 billion as of June 30, 2022. Analysts, most especially the critics of the federal government, have expressed worry over the spate of the federal government borrowings. Some had also predicted that the federal government would not desist from borrowing in 2022, considering the data obtained from the Central Bank of Nigeria. The Office of the Auditor General of the Federation has queried the Nigerian Ports Authority over the failure of 18 port terminal operators to remit total sums of $753 million and 1.61 billion naira to the federal government. These operators are the Lagos Port Complex, Tinkan Island Port, Delta Port, Rivers Port Complex, One Port Complex, and Calabar Port Complex. A query issued by the office, which is contained in its report being considered by the committees on public accounts in the National Assembly, said the amounts formed parts of the debts standing against the operators as of December 31, 2019. The federal government has announced that it was carrying out a study to identify suitable gas flare sites for auction and that it would issue flare sites to technically competent companies through a competitive bid process. It said a 12-member flare gas commercialization program team had been with the responsibility of driving the process as well as coordinate the flare gas commercialization program towards its initiative to end gas flaring by 2025. The Chief Executive Officer, Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, Benga Komolafe, who disclosed this in a statement he signed, stated that monetizing resources was a positive step towards guaranteeing energy security, especially in the global energy transition period. He noted that as a nation, Nigeria must ensure that it harnessed all available gas resources for value creation. And finally, investors lost 571 billion naira at the end of trading on the floor of the Nigerian Exchange Limited last week. The Nigerian Exchange All Share Index and market capitalization of equities listed on the Nigerian Exchange depreciated by 2.09%. All other indices finished lower with the exception of the Nigerian Exchange Insurance, Nigerian Exchange Consumer Goods, and Nigerian Exchange Growth Indexes, which appreciated by 6.00%, 3.00%, and 1.56%, while the Nigerian Exchange Asset Index closed flat. And that's the size of the business segment of the news. The rest of the bulletin continues. Do not go anywhere.